Okay, so today I'm joined by Joel from 8original. Hi Joel, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Really good. Shall we start by you telling us about what you do and how long you've been doing it?
So I am the CEO founder of 8original. We are a social media agency, specializing specifically in video content and organic and relatable content, which means content that the regular person can see and directly relate to every single time we post it. It either can be a piece of food that you can feel you can grab and eat, or it can be sort of a personal situation where you go, "Oh, that's funny." I've experienced that as well. Um, that's what we do. I opened the agency about 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago now, by myself, and now we're a team of five. So yeah, it's going well. So that's it.
Growth, good growth. And what kind of clients you work for?
So currently we service some 5 million plus revenue charities. We have clients in the restaurant space and we have clients in the sort of entertainment space as well. I've also done some work myself with footballers managing their social media and stuff. So yeah, all kinds really. I think our service sort of transcends just one kind of topic, whether it be food or whatever, and we can kind of do it for everybody, which is the best part about it. It's fun.
Brilliant. And so in the last 4 years since you 4 or 5 years since you've started your business, what would you say has been one of your biggest learnings?
I think the biggest learning curve has been, you know, I think how and how, like the vision that you need to have. So typically when you start a business or whatever, you kind of want results now. And if you're starting a real business where you want to employ people, you've got to have goals that are maybe 2, 3 years down the line, and you really almost have to will yourself and your team to get there. And I think it's that kind of longer term thinking that's a bit challenging, especially starting out, because obviously, you know, I had jobs like everybody else, and when you have a job, you get a paycheck at the end of every month, and it's not a paycheck, salary every month, and that's relatively secure, and you want that to continue. So that leads you to having a certain mindset of, right, I'm getting paid at the end of the month. Great. It's not necessarily like that when you've got a business. You have to build and build and keep building and keep building and then investing it back in the business. And then eventually you get to a part where, yeah, okay, I can, pay myself a little bit. So I think that was challenging for me. I've mastered it now, I think, but at first it was definitely challenging.
And what tips would you have for somebody of mastering that? Is that about motivation or confidence or
Um, I mean, it definitely is about self-motivation. A lot of it is always about having that goal in mind and working towards that endpoint all the time. I think the advice that I would give is actually something, obviously, most people that give advice would say something that they didn't do. What I didn't do was actually have it written down on a paper,
right?
as in have your milestones steadily written down in a mildly researched way, if you can, in order for you to strive towards something. It just makes it that much better when you're hitting them and hitting them and hitting them. I think when you run a business, I was talking to one of my team members about this yesterday. When you run a business, you don't have easy wins on a daily basis because you're running strategy, you're working on the business most of the time. So writing things down in that way and hitting some of your targets over, whether it be monthly, fortnightly, quarterly, however you want to do them, gives you those easy wins, gives you those wins as a business owner. Um, Whereas, in our business, I'm not out there making a video every day and kind of giving myself that hit dopamine every time I'm going, yeah, I posted it, it's doing really well on social, great. That's not my everyday. So yeah, the advice that I would give is write it down, hit them, pat yourself in the back a bit, and then keep going. It just helps you with not needing to self motivate all the time because the kind of numbers and the way you're moving things forward is the motivation.
Yeah, and I think that patting yourself on the back is really important as well. How do you celebrate the wins in your business?
Honestly, I think I mean, okay, I want to be honest. I don't probably
Okay.
celebrate is not something that I do.
Yeah.
But what I do is I try and take advantage of being a business owner. Like, some days you may just be completely out of it by maybe 4:30 in the afternoon. And the fact is I've got an amazing team and I can go, guys, listen, I'm out of it. I'm gonna go. And that's sometimes my way of celebrating it. I've built it up to a point where I can say, I've got extremely capable people managing things for me. I can take the afternoon off and hang out with my family. I feel good about doing that because maybe last week we won an important piece of business. So it's not necessarily organized celebration, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. It's
Yeah.
more kind of the day-to-day understanding of saying, listen, I have built up something where I can take some time if I need to. And my team are also very good at pushing me to say, just go, it's fine. Like, do what you need to do. It's all good. Go for it. I've built up a little bit of that culture here. So
Really good. So it's kind of celebrating by taking time for yourself.
absolutely.
Brilliant. So in your career or since you've been a business owner, is there an inspirational leader or somebody that's you've looked to that's really inspired you along the way?
Um, that's interesting. I was asked this about somebody the other day,
Mm.
and it's funny, I haven't pinpointed who that can be. And I'll tell you why. It's, I don't know, maybe a bit philosophical, but it's worked out for me. I think you don't know when you read sort of inspirational stories and stuff, they're great because it gives you maybe a target to get to, albeit super ambitious. But you don't really know where people started. You don't know whether, you know, people have different challenges. It could be that they grew up in a rough area potentially. They needed to get themselves out of that in the first place in order to build. It could be that they grew up into a lot of money, which gave them a little bit of a head start when it comes to investing in the business over a longer period of time. So I mean, as maybe cliche as it sounds, I look to somebody like my brother, who's a successful business owner in America, and who I know exactly kind of where he started. I mean, as a family growing up, I think probably half of my life we didn't have it the easiest, and starting up a business from literal ground is is something that I really, really, really admire, and that's what I've done too. So I think in terms of somebody that motivates me, I tend to look at good leaders. I think talk about this all the time, Alan. I don't know, some people may disagree with me, but for example, in politics nowadays, there's a lot of polarizing leaders. You're either here or you're there. I think I look at a lot of football managers and say, like, I think this person is a genuine good leader. I would like to follow this person. Um, that's kind of, I look at more the leadership part of it than the business growth part of it, because I just feel like nowadays, especially, you just don't know where people came from and how easy or hard they had it. So until I hear those stories in depth, until I hear somebody that I can say, yeah, like this is it, I haven't been able to pinpoint who that person is, which I know is a strange long answer to your question, but
Not at all, not at all.
yeah.
It's yeah, and I so if there was the football managers that you look to, which ones stand out to you?
So I've always liked Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
I think obviously from my understanding, he's successful off the pitch as well. But I've read some of the books. I've obviously seen him in countless interviews. I grew up a Man United fan, and I've always thought that as a leader, he is somebody who was widely respected all the time. And also, there's so many players that say he was like a father figure to them. So I think every business builds and grows because of the people that it has employed, or because of the people that it has under it. So as a leader, I feel like his influence and his way of being, albeit it was a long time ago, and some of the stuff has now kind of aged out, to be fair. Like the famous hair dryer treatment. I feel like that's something where I like to emulate as a leader.
Brilliant, thank you. So you've navigated your business through the pandemic in the last
Yeah.
few years. What was that like?
So that's interesting because the first kind of person that I took on full time was actually February 2020. So through the pandemic, we actually grew our team instead of not grew, which was for most businesses. Um, One, it was difficult, um, very much so. But two, for us, thankfully, we're digital. We're digital, and we're able to we're obviously very small at the time, and we were able to move. So we're able to work remotely very easy through different um like tools online, like Asana and Trello and all those fun things that everybody uses. Um, and the necessity to move into digital grew through COVID. So for us, actually, business was good. It was hard to win it at the time, and obviously, the budgets weren't necessarily there. But because we were nimble and because we'd built up some kind of cash reserves and stuff, we were able to take on maybe 3 to 4 clients very quickly, um, service them well, and then towards the kind of middle of 2021, which was not end of COVID, but we were still in the midst of how to get out of it. We hired somebody else that was full time. So we were able to navigate it quite well. But I think the necessity to go to digital for us was particularly good. And I think, I mean, for businesses in general, I think it pushed them towards that, which I also think is a good thing. But yeah, that was, yeah, it was an interesting period. We were creating content from our house, so we were getting clients to send us some of the stuff that they do, be it food or hampers or whatever, and we were
Okay.
having to create content at home, with like different backdrops and stuff, so people wouldn't know that we were kind of if we were creating in one specific spot in the house, um, which was
I
funny.
bet
It
it
was
was
fun.
quite cool having food clients. So you're getting food delivered to your house and
Yeah, we were looking after a charity as well. This was funny. So we were looking after a charity who was sending food packs to people that needed them.
yeah.
So we asked for them to send us a pack, but with everything they would send, be it a hot meal, a cold meal, whatever, everything, like everything. So one day I got a package with so many things, and it was like granola bars and stuff like that, and it was just everywhere. And yeah, I mean, it obviously, some of it I donated or whatever, but I'm not gonna lie, I may have kept a granola
Yeah.
bar. Yeah.
Can't follow you.
But,
You have to watch your weight when you're getting all the
yes,
food packages.
yeah, you do. I actually had a poke bowl for lunch yesterday, which we used for a photo shoot the day before. Um, so yeah, having some food clients in is quite
There'll
cool,
be
but
some perks.
you do need to watch it. Yeah.
So thinking about the present day and your industry at the moment, what is it that's inspiring you at the moment?
Um, what's inspiring me is, well, okay, so inspiring me about the industry is I like to go to a lot of conferences. Recently we went to a youth marketing conference with the whole team, and it's just people's creativity and how nowadays for us we're able to charge money to create peer-to-peer content. I just think that, like, it from a business, obviously we manage social media feeds for businesses. What we're doing is effectively give them a personality to that business, and people's creativity around how to do that is amazing. Like, I mean, Deliveroo, I went to this conference, and Deliveroo did a campaign through an agency, which was they just got a bunch of students everywhere to create sort of, like, they put their phone on their bike, and then it was like sort of a POV of like delivering something to a university student. And it was so relatable and so funny and so like easy to do, really. But this agency charged hundreds of thousands of pounds. So I'm thinking, like, I mean, just through sheer creativity and through humor and through just personality, you're able to deliver something that's so simple yet so, well, expensive and great profitability. Um, but yeah, it just kind of inspires me to say, well, I mean, that I think me and my team have that personality, that creativity, etc. Let's go pitch the big boys. Like, why not? Um, so yeah, we're working on a campaign just now, actually, for for a co-working space, which has a little bit of that kind of peer-to-peer creativity, which I'm very excited about. So hopefully we'll win it.
It's really nice because I know that you've got a really creative team, and then you also surround yourself with another network of creative people. So there's just a lot of creativity going on.
Yeah, it's fun. I think one of the people that works for me, her role is literally I handed her an iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I was like, you create videos. Here you go, just go. And that's what she does. She'll just go from place to place, creating cool videos and just editing them and posting them on social media. It's like, I don't know, if I was 25, 24 years old, that would be like my ideal
Best job ever.
job. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, what? It's amazing. So yeah, it's all quite cool, and it moves very quickly. So I think for any small agency, any smaller business in the creative space, if they know that they've got something even a little bit niche, it does move very quickly to the point that you will have a window where you're going to be able to pitch these kind of bigger clients, because everybody's looking to be the one that does X, and if you do have that specialty, somebody will buy it, and that's, I think, really exciting.
Really exciting. So, looking to the future now, what do you see as challenge going forward?
Well, actually, for us, it's growing the team and how to grow it. So we're kind of a small team where we have maybe just kind of one layer of management. So I've got me and my content manager, and then between the both of us, but mainly him, he manages the rest of the team. So it's kind of we're all very open. It's all very small, and it's about how to grow and what space to grow, whether we grow more on the bottom end or whether we grow a little, maybe we create a layer in between where we maybe have a sales team or something like that, because we're in a place where we're kind of going up and on the bell curve, and it's about, like, every bell curve is how tall is the bell, right?
Mm.
So if we want to get way up there and then maybe stay up there or maybe level off, which is fine, then how do we keep that bell going up and up and up and up and up and kind of ride the wave as much as we can? I think that's a big challenge for me, because you have to know where to invest, don't you? If you invest badly, you may not ride the wave as well as you would have wanted to. So I think it's really looking at the team and going, right, cool, these are the areas we're covering. This is what I'm looking at in the next 2 to 3 years. So this is the area that we need to definitely plug moving forward. And that's especially difficult when you're servicing clients at the same time, isn't it? So I really need to let the team kind of work on servicing, keep an eye on things, but actually just work on the business itself, so we can make some
focus for you, that organizational structure.
Yeah. For any business owner, though, that bit's a bit boring. The cool thing is actually, running around with the phone.
I was going to say, getting out of your iPhone.
Yeah, so
a bit of both is needed.
Yes, I do try and get it out sometimes, but yeah, that's that. I think that's going to be the challenge over the next 12 months. We need to grow our office as well. We've got a 4-desk office and a private office and a co-working space, and we've been offered a 6-desk one. So we're thinking of taking that, because now we're 5, and some of us come in and out of the office, so we're good with 4 desks at the moment. But that also brings in more expense.
Future view, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So just managing that expense and keeping in mind, obviously, taxes, VAT, etc. So yeah, that's definitely the biggest challenge for me.
Good challenges, because it's a positive view.
Yeah.
So final question for you, and what would you recommend to a young person starting their first business in today's world?
What I would recommend is get your overheads to be as low as possible. Work really, really, really hard for you and potentially somebody else to be able to do most things that you need to do. And the overheads that you need aren't big in that way. You don't need a big office. You don't need, I don't know, to pay thousands of pounds for somebody to work for you. Try outsourcing, try things like that, until you've got a solid base and repeat business that you can see past maybe 6 months to a year. if you are somebody that backs themselves and has that vision, which is longer term, then once you've got that repeat business, you can go ahead and maybe try and hire somebody. But one is keep your overheads really low when you start. Just work really, really hard and use online tools very wisely. There are project management tools. If you're somebody that write lists, you can write lists online and share them with other people. You can do all those things online. It's very easy. That's one. And the other is just to keep in mind that people run businesses. You can have as much money as you want and you can bring in as much money as you want. If you don't hire well, your business isn't going to last very long. You need people to support you. You need to build a culture of what you're like within your workspace. That way it's somewhere that can work while you're working on it instead of needing to work in it. So yeah, be mindful that when you do reach that step and you do decide to bring somebody in house, then those are the people that are gonna build your business, not yourself anymore. So it's at first going, okay, this is the work that I need to put in, and then when you delegate it, then make sure that that person is supported as much as possible, because those are the people that are going to be running and growing.
Really, really good advice there. Really good. Okay, Joel, that's it for now. Thank you for joining me. And I'm going to put all the details of your business in below. And yeah, we'll watch out and keep in touch.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.